Good morning, everyone. Is my audio and video clear? Please let me know in the comment section. Good morning, Chetan. Good morning, Bhakti, Vivek. Okay. Alright, so a very good morning to everyone watching this video. I am Manat Sharma from Olive Board and I'm here with the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So we take up the important articles and we cover it in detail, linking it with the static portion. Okay, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Olive Board app. Just go to the courses section. There's going to be a separate folder of YouTube class PDFs. You can download the PDF from here. Okay. Chalo. So the first important news over here is that finance panel may keep states tax pie unchanged at 41%. So what are we talking about over here? Who is going to tell me that hum yahan pe 41%, what are we referring to this 41% over here? Just read the headline. States tax pie may stay at 41%. What are we talking about over here? Anyone? Can anyone comprehend this for me? Yes, yes, Chetan. We are talking about tax devolution. Now, if now we are saying states tax pie, that means how much tax is devoluted or how much tax amount, the tax that the center has collected, how much money out of that should be given to the states. That is what we are talking about. Now, who decides this tax devolution on the recommendations of which commission? Recommendations of which commission? This tax devolution is the recommendations related to tax devolution is given by who? Yes, the Finance Commission. And currently, which Finance Commission recommendations are going on? Which Finance Commission's recommendations are going on and headed by whom? Yes, so currently 15th Finance Commission recommendations are going on, and who is going to tell me that the 15th Finance Commission was headed by whom? Yes, exactly. N.K. Singh Panel Committee. N.K. Singh. So this Finance Commission, 15th Finance Commission was headed by N.K. Singh. Now here in this news, we are talking about the 16th Finance Commission. Who is heading the 16th Finance Commission? Who is currently heading the 16th Finance Commission? Or you can say, who is the chairman of the 16th Finance Commission? We have not yet received the final document wherein we are going to discuss about the details from 25-26 to the next 5 years. Yes, exactly. Yes, very good, Chetan. Arvind Panagria, it's written over here. Arvind Panagria ji is heading the 16th Finance Commission, and we are soon to have the recommendations of this commission. Now, in this article, what we are saying is that this 16th Finance Commission may keep the devolution, the vertical devolution. Now, when we talk about Finance Commission, there are two things under here. One is your vertical devolution, and the other is your horizontal devolution of taxes. Vertical devolution is that out of 100% of the taxes received by the center, how much should states have? Say out of 100%, 41% should be with states. Of states, we have so many states in a country. We have so many states. So out of this 41%, how to distribute among different states is what is called horizontal devolution. So vertical devolution is from center to state and horizontal devolution is among the states. Okay? So these are the two things that we see under your Finance Commission, and here we are talking about vertical devolution of taxes, which is to be which is to be remained at 41%. Now in the 14th Finance Commission, now 14th Finance Commission may your vertical devolution was 42%. Then in the 15th Finance Commission, we reduced it to 41%. Why did we reduce this 1%? For the newly formed J&K and Ladakh UTs. Okay, that we wanted to keep 1% aside for J&K and Ladakh. That is why we reduced this vertical devolution. Vertical is center to state, horizontal is distribution of the vertically devolved taxes among the states. Exactly, Chetan. Absolutely correct. Okay. Now these are some yes, J&K and Ladakh became a UT. That is why 42% say we reduced it by 1% to 41%. Okay, I hope this is clear. So let's read this article. We are saying here that 16th Finance Commission is likely to retain the state's share at 41%. Though the states had demanded keep 50%, this vertical devolution should be 50% and not 41%. Please increase it to 50%. So the states had demanded this, but this finance commission is likely to keep it at 41%, and the reason is balancing state demands with central spending needs. And now we've seen that India is spending a lot on defense as of now, because given the strained relationship between India and Pakistan, we are spending a lot on defense. So keeping this thing in mind that we are spending a lot, that is why one reason is this, that we are not increasing this vertical devolution to 41%. ठीक है, states share in central taxes likely to remain at 41%. Demand from 22 to 23 states to increase the share to 50% was noted, was not accepted. Center's rising fiscal demands like defense, capital expenditure, these are the major reasons why we are not increasing this share. And with the decision continues the 15th Finance Commission's formula. Fine. So what is the likely share of states in the divisible pool of central taxes as per the initial view of the 16th Finance Commission? Likely share of states in the divisible pool of central taxes. Here we are talking about vertical devolution only. है ना? That what is the 16th Finance Commission going to keep it at what percent? 50%, 45%, 41%, or 39%? Quickly give me the answer. Others also answering. Only Chetan has given me the answer. What about others? Bhakti, Vivek. You guys also, you have to answer. There are so many students who are attending the class. You should also be answering the questions, okay? So yes, 41% is absolutely the correct answer. ठीक है? चलो. India in dumping crosshairs at WTO as US Pakistan target exports. ठीक है, यहाँ पे we are talking about India in anti-dumping crosshairs at WTO. This is a very important article over here. Now there is this concept of dumping and anti-dumping duties. Anti-dumping duties. Who is going to tell me what is dumping and what is anti-dumping duties? Good morning, Sarthak. What do you mean by dumping and what do you mean by anti-dumping duties? This concept of dumping was there in news many times in China's case, right? So now we are talking about dumping over here. India in dumping crosshairs at WTO. What is dumping here? What do you mean by dumping? I have explained the concept of dumping in previous classes also. Anyone? Chetan is saying anti-dumping tariffs or taxes imposed in order to prevent dumping. Huh. But what is dumping? See, dumping is usually seen in the international market. So what do we do is, for example, India manufactures something, okay? India manufactures something and sells it at a high rate in the domestic market, okay? It sells it at a high rate in the domestic market, okay? And in this domestic market also, uh, it acts like a monopoly. It acts like a monopoly. But in some foreign countries, say China, say US, say Pakistan, what does India do? It sells the same product at the perfectly competitive price. Perfectly competitive price is the lowest price. The lowest price. When your price is equal to your marginal cost. That means jitna bhi cost you are incurring, you are setting the price only equal to that. For example, your raw material ka cost is 10 rupees. You're selling the product also 10 rupees. You're not making any kind of profit here. So what you're doing is you are becoming a perfectly competitive firm in an international market, and you are acting like a monopoly or a oligopolist in case of your domestic market. Now what happens when you do this? You try to disrupt the domestic market of the other country. Okay, there's an example. That is what is called dumping. For example, dumping is also many types. Sporadic dumping, persistent dumping, and predatory dumping. You don't need to go in that much detail. But dumping is when you are dump kar dena kahin pe, hai na? You're dumping a lot of stuff in some other country. That is what is called dumping. If someone is dumping in India, say China is dumping in India, what I can do is on this dumping, I can levy taxes or tariffs, which is called anti-dumping duties. Okay, to prevent dumping, I am putting in tariffs so that the price of that product increases and it is not dumped in our country. That is what is called anti-dumping duties. Subhai Singh, selling cheap things. Not selling cheap things, but selling things at a cheaper rate. You can't say selling cheap things, selling something at a very cheap rate. Okay, Subha. What actually matter a lot, है ना? So यहाँ पे India is facing anti-dumping investigations. अब अभी तक what we are seeing is that India may dump हो सकता है. We were reading about this that China may dump in India, but now India is facing anti-dumping investigations in WTO. And who initiated these anti-dumping investigations? United States, Pakistan, Brazil, Indonesia, United Kingdom. ठीक है ये what are we targeting basically? हाँ yes Subha, cheapest price. I got it. ठीक है, these actions target a range of Indian exports like steel, aluminium, ceramic products and chemicals that Indians are selling it at a very low cost. That is why WTO has initiated anti-dumping investigations on India. ठीक है, it reflects growing trade protectionism, rising global trade tensions. So यहाँ पे multiple anti-dumping probes have been launched against India, against Indian exports. ठीक है, इंडिया की एक्सपोर्ट्स कौन से सेक्टर्स अफेक्टेड है? स्टील, एल्यूमिनियम, सेरेमिक प्रोडक्ट्स, केमिकल्स, हनी. Pakistan's actions are surprising as it previously banned trade with India post 2019 but is now targeting Indian exports at the WTO. ठीक है, even though Pakistan has already banned India's banned trade with India, still it is targeting Indian exports at the WTO. And US has listed Indian exports of 2,4-D herbicide and raw honey under scrutiny. So US has listed which all products under scrutiny? 2,4-D herbicide and raw honey. You have to remember these two things. Okay? The Commerce Ministry is yet to respond officially. So let's see. What can we understand from this? Okay? Which Indian export has recently been listed under anti-dumping scrutiny by United States? Refined petroleum, 2,4-D herbicide and raw honey, tea and spices, cotton yarn. What is the answer? Yes, 2,4-D herbicide and raw honey. This you should be knowing, okay? चलो नेक्स्ट वी हैव दिस फॉलिंग फर्टिलिटी रेट थ्रेटन्स क्राइसिस. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे देयर इज दिस रिपोर्ट, स्टेट ऑफ वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन रिपोर्ट, स्टेट ऑफ वर्ल्ड population report. This report is released by whom? This report is released by which organization? Who's going to tell me? Yes, UNFPA. But what is UNFPA basically? I wanted to know the full form of UNFPA. Where is the headquarter of UNFPA? United Nations. This is United Nations Population Fund. United Nations Population Fund. Where is the headquarter of UNFPA? International organizations is an important part from your exam point of view. And now that this is in news, UNFPA is in news. So I am giving you a homework. You have to read about this organization in detail. Okay? Read it in detail. So where is the headquarter of UNFPA? Yes, it is in New York. Exactly. So यहाँ पे we have the state of the world population report which has been released, and there we have this news that in India, the fertility rate is falling, and we might see a China-like crisis. अच्छा, what is fertility rate? यहाँ पे there is this rate mentioned, fertility rate. What is fertility rate? How can you define fertility rate? How can you define fertility rate? Birth per women, yes. So this is fertility rate is basically the average number of children that are born to a woman in her childbearing age. In her childbearing age. Okay, that is what is fertility rate. यहाँ पे we are seeing a declining fertility rate and a China-like crisis. Okay, so when I say that here it is written as per UNFPA, total fertility rate has declined to 1.9 births per woman, falling below the replacement level of 2.1. What do you mean by replacement level fertility rate? What is the meaning of replacement level fertility rate? What is the meaning of replacement level fertility rate? Anyone? Death versus births, acha. Number of deaths versus number of births, kind of. Next generation. See, in simple words, when I say replacement level fertility rate, it means the average number of children that a woman must bear, that a woman must have, you can say, to maintain a stable population size. ठीक है, to maintain a stable population size. Replacement level, for example, two people have got married. ठीक है, now they should be able to replace themselves. ठीक है, at least they should have two children. ठीक है, so that is what we are saying. Replacement level is when you die, when a couple dies, then they should be replaced by two more children. Fine, replacing the old, next generation replacing the old. Yes, Subha. ठीक है. So average number of children that a woman must have in order to maintain a stable population size. Now that is declining. If this replacement level fertility rate is declining, that means in the coming generations we are going to have less population. Okay, so this article is targeted at saying that our fertility rate is falling. We might see a China-like crisis and aging population in the upcoming times, And that is why, rather than focusing on population control policy, we need to change this population policy of India. Okay, that is what this article is in short. So we have seen a rapid decline in its fertility rate. It is now at 1.9 births per woman, which is below the replacement level of 2.1, which is raising concerns that we might see a demographic crisis such as of China. Now, this was limited to the southern states. Abhi hame pata hai, this is India, right? This is India, and we had seen that majorly the southern states were facing this problem of declining fertility. But now we are seeing this trend all over India. Now we are seeing this trend all over India. This has become a nationwide issue now. That means that means policymakers are now urging the government to shift from population control to population stabilization. That means our stand should change from population control to population stabilization. Population stabilization. Right. I hope this is clear. Okay, you have to remember this 1.9 births per woman. This is according to the State of World Population report. Please read about this report also in detail. Fine. Okay, so now this has become a nationwide problem, and even populous states like UP and Bihar are facing this issue. That's why his government is allowing maternity leave for third child too. Exactly. Yes, Atiti. Very good. That is why now the government has started taking steps. It has allowed maternity leave for the third child also. Up to till now it was only applicable to this to the first two children. Now it's applicable to the third child also. ठीक है? Political leaders are pushing for incentives like tax breaks, child support, health and healthcare to encourage larger families. And there are declining school enrollments, workforce shrinkage, economic stagnation. These things could follow in future. There should be a shift from control to flexible innovation driven population policy. Okay? So as per UNFPA report, what is India's current total fertility rate? 2.5 births per woman, 2.1 births per woman, 1.9 or 1.5 births per woman. All of you, I want answers from all of you. Very easy question. We've already done it. It is 1.9 births per woman. Okay? And replacement level is 2.1. Okay? Center to track socio-economic gains from highways. So here we have this article that the central government has instructed all highway agencies to prepare detailed reports assessing the socio-economic outcomes of highway expansion projects, especially those under Bharatmala Pariyojana. That whatever that the highway projects that they are launching, we need to check the socio-economic impacts also. Like how much travel time reduction has happened, what is the fuel efficiency, what is the economic impact, how is it impacted the logistics, what social benefits is it providing. Okay, highway agencies must now report outcomes such as reduced travel time, fuel saving, increased user satisfaction, economic or logistic improvements. This impact will be measured both directly and indirectly on macroeconomic indicators like connectivity to markets within 25-kilometer. Socio-impact metrics will also include access to education work hubs, that through these highways, through these transportation facilities, has the access to education improved or not? Has access to work hubs improved or not within 10 kilometer of range? ठीक है, and Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, it has asked for periodic impact reports, that periodically the impact reports should be made available. Environmental and road safety indicators will also be monitored, including carbon dioxide emission reductions, improved fuel efficiency. ठीक है? So which of the following is not one of the metrics to be assessed for highway projects under the new framework? Reduction in travel time, fuel efficiency and user satisfaction, economic connectivity to markets within 25-kilometer, literacy rate of rural areas. Which of the following is not a metric? Which is not a metric? Hanji, what is the answer? Reduction in travel time, fuel efficiency and user satisfaction, and economic connectivity to markets within 25 km, and literacy rate of rural areas, which is not one of the metrics to assess highway projects under the new framework. What is the answer? Hanji, Chetan, Atithi, Subha, Romil, Bhakti, Sarthak, what is the answer? Yes, literacy rate of rural areas. So you can see over here, we have already read what are the indicators. Connectivity to markets within 25 kilometers. So this option is correct. है ना? Reduction in travel time option is also correct. This also we have read. Reduced travel time, fuel savings, increased user satisfaction, economic or logistics, है ना? So reduction in travel time, fuel efficiency is also there, but literacy rate is not there, right? Chalo. NABARD gets government approval to issue deep discount debt. Now, I have a question here for all of you. What are deep discount, deep discount, zero coupon bonds? ठीक है, यहाँ पे you can see here it's written through deep discount bonds, or you can say deep discount zero coupon bonds. So NABARD can now issue these deep discount zero coupon bonds. Any idea what are deep discount zero coupon bonds? Any idea what is the meaning of this? Very important. This is very small, very small in the newspaper. On a site this news has been mentioned, but we need to understand this term, deep discount zero coupon bonds. Who is going to give me the answer of this question? That is sold at very low price than the face value. Exactly. Very good, Atithi. Let's break this down. Okay, let's break this down. Bond क्या है? Bond is a debt instrument. That if you issue bond, then you will get a fixed yield. For example, if NABARD issues a bond after maturity, say maturity is after 10 years. So if I purchase this bond that RBI that NABARD is issuing, I will get a fixed yield at the end of 10 years. Okay. Yeah. Now here is deep discount zero coupon bonds. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of zero coupon? Zero coupon. Zero coupon meaning we've seen zero coupon securities also named. And now what is zero coupon? Chaitanya Singh issued at deep discount, redeemed at par with no coupon payments over the life. Thus, the difference between issue price and redemption value is the effective coupon income. Okay, very good, Chetan. See, when I say zero coupon, that means you do not need to make interest payments. Okay? And deep discount, say the face value was 10,000 rupees. But you are getting a deep discount. You are, getting it at 7,000. Okay, that does not have any interest. It is just sold at discounted value and redeemed at face value. Exactly. So it is sold at 7,000 but redeemed at 10,000. So such a deep discount is there. So now NABARD can issue this. No interest, yes. No interest income, yes, Chetan. Okay, yes, Subha. Okay, so deep discount zero coupon bonds are debt instruments which are sold at a very discounted price and redeemed at the face value. So face value of 10,000, I have sold it at 7,000 and redeemed at 10,000. So this is what is called deep discount zero coupon bonds. Very important to understand. So now RBI, so now NABARD has received this approval that they can raise 195 billion rupees, which is around $2.3 billion through deep discount bonds. Okay, so what is the maturity of these bonds? 11 years, 10 years, 11 months, and 13 years. So approximately 11 years. Okay, and this issuance is allowed till the end of March 2027. So NABARD will now issue deep discount zero coupon bond with a long maturity period. The government has approved a fundraising limit of 195 billion rupees. 10 years, 11 months, 13 days, I've already told you. and this will help NABARD finance long-term rural development and agricultural infrastructure projects. Okay. What type of bonds has NABARD been approved to issue for raising 195 billion rupees? Floating rate bonds, deep discount zero coupon bonds, inflation indexed bonds, or convertible debentures? What is the answer? Okay, now until and unless you've read this news, you've read the news mentioned in the newspaper, you will not be able to solve this answer, right? So the answer is deep discount zero coupon bonds. Okay, chalo. After US duty hike, India now faces EU heat on steel quota. So now we are talking about European Union over here. Let's see what this article is about. Okay. So European Union has halted India's individual quota for steel exports and moved it into a pooled quota system under the other countries category. So now till now what was happening is that EU had kept a separate quota that now they are going to purchase this X amount of steel from India. So India's quota was separately defined. Now what has EU done? This special quota has been removed, and an overall quota, a pooled quota has been made for all the countries together, that EU is going to buy steel from all the countries together X amount. So now India's privilege that India solely is going to export this much amount of steel to EU, that has been revoked, that has been removed. This is a disadvantage for India. Now, India shares 12,500 ton quota with countries like China and Vietnam, risking early exhaustion of quota and reduced market access. Now you can say that 12,500 ton quota only India was supplying. Now this 12,500 quota is shared by many countries and they are together going to supply it to EU. Okay, and this follows from the recent US tariff hike on Indian steel. So India has been placed under the other countries' pooled quota, and shared quota size is 12,500 tons. India exported articles of iron and steel worth $1.83 billion in financial year 25. The 15% cap on single country quota share has also been removed, and this is to correct imbalances in EU's current steel import system, and India might lose market share in to faster exporting countries under this pooled quota. That is what this news is about. So, what recent action did the EU take concerning India's steel export quota? Increased India's steel quota by 25%, imposed anti dumping duty on Indian steel, signed a free trade agreement with India for steel exports, suspended India's individual quota and moved it to a pooled quota. What is the answer? Exactly. Suspended India's individual quota and moved it to a pooled quota. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next, RBI to bar offshore fixed deposits, limit remittances rules. So there are again some more important rules by RBI. Let's see what these are. RBI plans to tighten overseas remittance norms for resident Indians. So overseas, जो बाहर से we are receiving the remittances, their norms have to be tightened here. It will bar foreign currency fixed deposits with lock-in periods under the liberalized remittance scheme, preventing individuals from using remittances to park money in interest-bearing accounts abroad. Now, what we are saying over here is that RBI will stop these foreign currency fixed lock-in periods. So, FDs जो है long term के लिए when you lock in the foreign currency, that is going to be stopped under this liberalized remittance scheme. ठीक है? Now, individuals they will not be able to use these remittances to put money in FDs basically. Okay, so this aims to curb passive wealth shifting and safeguard foreign exchange reserves. So what they were doing is they were whatever remittances they were receiving, they were keeping in fixed deposits in some foreign bank. फिक्स डिपॉजिट में फॉरेन बैंक में रख दिया, नाउ देयर इज लेस अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स, है ना, they are shifting their wealth to some other country. FD, they are in some foreign bank, they are keeping their money. So that is a negative thing, that is not, that is going to hamper India's foreign exchange reserve. So to safeguard that, this move has been taken up. So RBI to amend these liberalized remittance scheme rules to prevent fixed deposits and interest bearing accounts abroad. That the FD that they put in some abroad or some foreign bank, that should be capped. Okay? So overseas investment by individuals fall under this liberalized remittance scheme with an annual remittance cap of $250,000. And if you see that India, RBI recorded increase in outward remittances. March 2025 में $173.2 million, February 2025 $51.62 million, and financial 24-25 nearly $30 billion. ठीक है, this so we are basically legally reviewing this scenario, and we are trying to bar these fixed deposits outside of the country. ठीक है. So what action has the RBI proposed under the liberalized remittance scheme? Increase the annual remittance limit to $500,000, allowing fixed deposits abroad with higher returns, barring overseas remittances into foreign currency fixed deposits, launching a new overseas investment scheme. Right. Barring overseas remittances into foreign currency fixed deposits. Okay, I hope this is clear. So here we are talking about, now again in this article we are talking about retail inflation. It cools to a 6-year low. So we are seeing that the inflation scenario in our country, in India, is actually in a very controlled manner, and it is decreasing. The retail inflation or the inflation level is decreasing in our country. So retail inflation, which is based on your consumer price index, has dropped to 2.82% in May 2025. This is the lowest in over 6 years, you can see. So this is driven by a sharp moderation in food prices. This marks the fourth consecutive month of less than 4% inflation, which is the longest such stretch in the past 5 years. And because of this, we have also reduced the repo rate by 50 basis points in June, right? So CPI inflation for May fell to 2.82%, which is very low. This is the lowest since 28-19. Food inflation is down to 0.99%. So majorly because of a reduction in food prices, we are seeing that retail inflation is controlled. Okay? So core inflation remains sticky in essential items like milk, edible oil, non-alcoholic beverages. Here we need to understand the difference between core inflation and headline inflation. When we talk about headline inflation, we are talking about overall inflation of all the commodities. When out of headline inflation, we exclude the volatile items. Volatile items like food, fuel, energy, whose prices keep on changing a lot, fluctuating a lot. When we exclude these items, we get core inflation. So clothing and footwear inflation, it was steady at 2.67%. If we see the state-wise performance, then 12 out of 22 major states recorded inflation below the national average of 2.8%, which includes Delhi, Gujarat, UP, Bihar, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal. All these have seen inflation below the national average of 2.8%. Yes, Aditi, food and fuel excluded is your core inflation, right? Okay? Because of this, our repo rate has been reduced to 5.5%. Okay? Then average inflation may remain below RBI's revised forecast of 3.7%, and it is even expected to stay low till October 2025. Right? So, what was the primary reason for the decline in retail inflation to 2.82% in May 2025? Reduction in fuel prices, cut in repo rate by RBI, fall in food inflation, especially perishables, increase in export of agricultural goods. What is the answer? so many students attending the class and you guys are not answering, है ना? Either you know everything or you're lazy in answering, है ना? चलो, fall in food inflation, especially perishables. B is absolutely the correct answer. ठीक है? चलो. Now let me see whether you have read the newspaper or not. Again, a surprise question for all of you. Such kind of questions are asked in the exam. So, in the Global Gender Gap Report of 2025, released by the World Economic Forum, what is India's rank among 148 countries? 127, 129, 131, 133. Chetan has given me the answer. What about others? Atithi has also given me the answer. Anyone else? This is the Global Gender Gap Report of 2025. This has been released by World Economic Forum. Again, this is also important. And what is India's rank? It is 131. Absolutely correct. Atithi, Chetan, Subha, absolutely correct. Okay, so you can see over here, India has ranked 131 out of 148 countries in the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report of 2025. Okay, with a parity score of just 64.1%, India is among the lowest ranked nations in South Asia. Iceland leads the ranking for the 16th year running, followed by first are Iceland, Finland, Norway, UK, and New Zealand. ठीक है? So Iceland, Finland, Norway, UK, New Zealand. You have to remember the first five also. Important. ठीक है? चलो. Automakers press center to step in for rare earths. Now this article related to rare earth metals, which are actually not rare, but they are present in a manner wherein their extraction is very difficult. And we have discussed this in detail in the previous classes. Almost on a regular basis, we are discussing about rare earth metals. Now, what this article is about, that Indian automakers, they are requesting the central government's help after China stopped exporting rare earth minerals to India and is delaying visa approvals for Indian company representatives. Okay, so what is happening is, first of all, China has put a barred from exporting rare earth minerals to India. First of all, that it has stopped exporting. Secondly, it has delayed the visa approvals for Indian company represent, and it is not letting the Indian companies also in exploration of these rare earths. Okay, these minerals are essential for production of EVs, and if this rare earth metals are stopped, their production is stopped, or this as a raw material has will be stopped, then we will not be able to transition to electric vehicles. Okay, so this industry is seeking government level talks so that they can resume the supply and prevent disruption in EV production. That is why they are urging the center that please you go and talk to China, do something about it. China has paused rare earth exports to India, which is affecting EV production. Indian companies are also facing visa delays. Auto industry has approached Indian ministries for diplomatic support. China is not approving Indian rare earth project applications. That is a major problem. And this is going to really impact the production if this issue continues. So why have Indian automakers approached the government regarding rare earth minerals? India is planning to export rare earth minerals to China. China has imposed a complete ban on automobile imports. China has paused exports and delayed approvals affecting EV production. China demanded increased tariffs on Indian vehicles. What is the answer? Yes, China has paused exports and delayed approvals affecting EV production. Now, NHAI plans 20,000 crore InvITs. So, NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, it looks to raise 20,000 crore via two InvIT rounds. What do you mean by InvITs? Who's going to tell me? InvITs. What are InvITs? Infrastructure investment trusts. Infrastructure investment trusts. What are these basically? What are these infrastructure investment trusts? You might have heard about mutual funds. InvITs are like mutual funds wherein money is pooled from investors. Money is pooled from investors, and where is this money put? For infrastructure projects. Okay, so these are like mutual funds. So NHAI looks to raise 20,000 crore via two InvIT rounds. So by monetizing completed highway stretches through two infrastructure investment trusts. Okay, this you have to remember. I just wanted to explain what InvITs are, infrastructure investment trust. That is why I brought this article over here. So this is part of the broader strategy to generate 60,000 via asset monetization during the fiscal year. If we are unable to invest in the entire infrastructure projects, we get a small ownership based on the number of units of InvITs we hold. Exactly. Yes, Chetan. Okay. So target is 20,000 crore to be raised through two InvIT rounds. The major goal is 60,000 crore, but right now we are going to focus on two InvIT rounds. For the first time, completed roads under toll operate transfer contracts will be offered to private sector InvITs. So what are they offering? Toll operate transfer, TOT contracts. This is for the first time done. So you can get an MCQ that which kind of model is being, which kind of model contracts will be offered to the private sector InvITs. Okay? So which kind of the roads which are completed under the toll operate transfer. Okay? You might have heard these kind of build, operate, transfer, build, lease, build, operate, lease, transfer, these kind of things. है ना? So these are different models through which public-private partnership models. Fine. So over 30 investors already have committed, including major pension and infrastructure funds. NHAI has identified 8 stretches of highways to be monetized through these new InvITs. Okay? So how much does NHAI plan to raise through InvITs in financial year 2025 as part of its monetization strategy? We're talking about the overall 10,000, 20,000, 43,638 or 60,000 crore. So it's already written over here 20,000 crore. Not C, Chetan. 20,000 crore B. Okay. So now again we have this important article from RBI. RBI skips 14-day liquidity operations again. So we have already discussed in our previous class. We have discussed in the previous class that RBI is going to stop its liquidity injections. Enough liquidity has been put through reduction in repo rate reduction in repo rate and CRR. Enough liquidity has been injected. So now liquidity actions or operations that RBI generally takes, that is going to be RBI is going to skip that. So RBI skips this 14-day liquidity operation. So a review of the current and evolving liquidity conditions, marking the third consecutive fortnight that the central bank has skipped the main 14-day operation because there is enough liquidity in the banking system now. ठीक है, market participants had expected that RBI will conduct a 14-day variable rate repo auction on Friday, but it did not. ठीक है, what are variable rate repo auctions? What are variable rate repo auctions? Meaning, anyone? What is the meaning of variable rate repo auctions? If you guys want to connect with me beyond these sessions, you can connect with me through the Telegram group. So just write Mannat Educator and you will be a part of the Telegram group. I keep sending MCQs and important stuff in that group, so you can be a part of it. So my question is, what are variable rate repo auctions? Who is going to give me the answer? See, one is your repo rate that we talk about, which is fixed. That can be only changed by the Monetary Policy Committee. Otherwise, that is a fixed repo rate, which we are seeing at 5.5%. Variable rate repo options, these are, short term, in order to, in order to have short term money, short term liquidity at a variable rate which changes, the rate which changes. Repo auctions are conducted in order to manage liquidity in the economy. Okay, so day-to-day liquidity management system, that is what happens in this case. Bank can borrow funds from the RBI at this rate. Okay, and this is collateralized. Repo hai, so repurchase auctions, so it is collateralized. Collateral is kept. So securities are kept. It is similar to repo rate only. The only difference is that repo rate is fixed. This is variable repo rate, which happens on a fortnight basis. ठीक है? आरबीआई लिक्विडिटी मैनेज करने के लिए ऑक्शन कराता है. बैंक्स एंड नाउ स्टैंड लोन डीलर्स आर आल्सो अलाउड टू पार्टिसिपेट. एग्जैक्टली. तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए एट अ वेरिएबल रेट. सो दिस रेट चेंजेस डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कंडीशंस. सो वेरिएबल रेट पे रेपो ऑक्शंस आर हैपनिंग on a fortnight basis. This happens in order to manage the short term liquidity needs. ठीक है? I hope this is clear, Chetan. This is not non collateralized, it is collateralized. ठीक है? So you do keep a collateral. Repo, wherever is repo word is used, repurchase, that means collateral will be there. I hope this is clear. Fine, Chetan. So why did the RBI decide to skip the 14-day liquidity operation for the third consecutive fortnight? Due to lack of demand for government bonds, because of upcoming elections, after reviewing current and evolving liquidity conditions, or due to following inflation rates? What is the answer? Yes, after reviewing current and evolving liquidity conditions. C is the correct answer. Last article for today. A caste census is a Pandora's box that India needs to open anyway. So we are talking about a caste census, whether it should be conducted or not. What are the pros and cons of a caste census? Okay. So this article, it discusses the growing call and political momentum behind conducting a caste census in India. That what is the political scenario behind conducting a caste census? ठीक है, likely in the D-date 2021 population census now expected in 2027. So in this 2027 population census, which was to be conducted in 2021, census to be conducted in 2021, which will be conducted in 2027. That is what we are saying. Now we might have a caste census as well. ठीक है? So this article emphasizes that while caste enumeration can be politically and socially complex, it is essential for better understanding the social composition, ensuring equitable policy formulation, and empowering marginalized communities. So what we are saying is, yes, caste calculation is complex economically, politically as well as socially. But still, we need to bring in this caste census so that we can understand the population in a better way in order to make better policies, equitable policies. Okay? So India may include caste data in the 2027 census. This is the first such national level caste enumeration since 1931. Aim is to disaggregate and understand the identity and composition of OBCs, which is a category that lacks precise official estimate. So there is no official estimate for OBCs. So the 2011 caste census was not published due to self-identification issues, data inconsistencies. About 55% of India's population is currently clubbed under undifferentiated Hindus, including forward castes, OBCs, Dalits. So we do not really have a good data related to, the population of our country. So this is important for policy planning in welfare, education, health, reservation distribution. But there are obviously challenges because of complex and diverse OBC identities, risk of exclusion, political manipulation, resistance from upper castes. And a caste census, this has a potential to reshape Indian politics, social justice movements, and affirmative action framework. So caste census, basically according to this article, is necessary. Okay? So why is the proposed caste census in India considered significant? Why is it important? It seeks to understand the social composition, especially of OBCs, It will help identify the richest individuals in India. It aims to abolish the caste system. It is required for military recruitment. What is the answer? Yes, it seeks to understand the social composition, especially of OBCs. Actually, that was not the last article. We have this Israel strikes raise tempo. Now, again, very important. Geopolitically, this article is very important. Now, geopolitically, I hope you guys are following. Now, Iran and Israel, they are at kind of, you can say, war with each other. Not even war, but they are at, they're killing each other. They're striking each other. And we are seeing this also. Please keep a tap on this. Keep reviewing this in Iran, Israel, and even Trump is being involved in this case because Iran thinks that US. This is via US that it is being attacked, and Iran might attack US also. So geopolitically, things are escalating. Okay, recently only Israel struck Iran's nuclear sites, and top general commanders were also killed. And now Iran is retaliating by killing Israelis. And now Iran has also threatened that if US is involved, then we are going to retaliate. And Trump is saying that if Iran tries to, Trump is saying that we are not involved in any killing with Israel. We are not with Israel in this case. So if Iran tries to harm US, then it is going to see the highest military power of US over here. So Israel launched a large-scale early morning attack on Iran's nuclear sites and top military officials, killing high-ranking Iranian generals and targeting over 100 locations. This has intensified global tensions, triggering fears of prolonged conflict in the Middle East, creating a ripple effect in global financial markets, including a sharp decline in Indian stock indices. You might have noticed that the stock market declined in the previous 2-3 days, right? So, about 200 Israeli aircraft attacked Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure, including Natanz and other strategic facilities. Iran retaliated with drone strikes. Iranian generals, including General Hussein Salami, were reportedly killed in the attacks. Indian stock indices fell 1.7% in 2 days. Crude oil prices surged. Rupee weakened against the dollar. Indian bond yields dropped amid risk of sentiment. Closure of Strait of, if we talk about the global fallout, then closure of Strait of Hormuz may disrupt the oil supplies. This is going to be a negative impact. Increased investor concerns over energy prices and inflation. Safe haven assets like gold and US bonds, they are in high demand. So, what was one of the major global financial consequences of Israel's strike on Iran as reported in the news? Strengthening of Indian rupee, surge in global stock indices, rise in crude oil prices and fall in Indian markets, reduction in gold prices globally. What is the answer? Yes, rise in crude oil prices and fall in Indian markets. Okay? Chalo, that is all from my side. These were the important articles I wanted to discuss with you. I hope you have understood them. I have tried to revise the static portion also. Many things we have done today. I hope this session was helpful for you. I hope you've understood. If you want to connect with me beyond these sessions, then Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. You can connect with me on Telegram. Take care. If there's any doubt, Sumant, the next class is going to be on Wednesday at 8 a.m. So this live mint analysis I take up every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 a.m. Okay? So you can attend it at that time. Okay? Okay, Sumant. And today in the evening at 7 p.m. I am going to take up the viewpoint session which I could not take yesterday. Sunday ko 9 p.m. I could not take this session, so I will be taking up this session today at 7 p.m. on YouTube. So I hope I'm going to see you live at 7 p.m. Okay, so if there's any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, we're going to end the session over here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to all of you who are consistently attending the classes. And I really hope that this session has been helpful for all of you. Keep studying. All the best to all of you. Keep reading the newspaper. Reading newspaper is very, very important. You also need to understand which are the important articles, how to extract the maximum out of newspaper, and how to collect data out of newspaper, and how you can link it with the static portion and understand. Okay? Alright then, if there's nothing that you want to ask, then we'll end the session here. Thank you so much and have a nice, nice day. Bye bye, all of you.